Hey, everybody, and welcome to Meet Your Congregation. Me and Caleb are here, and we are talking to Neil Sedgewick from my favorite place on earth, Northern Ireland. Are you in Belfast proper?
I am. I'm out in Dundonald, which is just out East Belfast.
Okay.
So we're out round kind of C.S. Lewis country.
Well, oh yeah, I'll be there in October. Well, welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome.
It's lovely to chat to you.
Glad to have an international flair to the
nice.
Meet the Congregation, or Meet the Congo, as
Meet the
Caleb's
Congo.
been calling it.
Am I the furthest away so far?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Easily.
Okay. I am the record holder. I am the man to beat.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, before we started recording, Neil and I were talking about how he came into contact with you. Maybe now that we're on the air, you could expand on that a little bit, Neil, about because I said to you the obvious connection that I assumed was through Pete Rollins, because you're in that neck of the woods.
Yes.
So yeah, how'd you come into contact with Jay and Revolution?
Well, I started listening when Jay was in New York, and I think I had just started to get into Pete's work and started to read his stuff and listen to what he was putting out there, and he shared the talk he'd done at Revolution in New York, and I heard this. And sorry, Pete, I don't remember what the talk was about, but I just heard this like bar atmosphere to it, and that's not really a thing in Northern Ireland churches. They're a lot more formal than that, and I was like, oh, this is different, this is interesting. So I was listening to Jay and Vince, and just hearing a completely different style and side of the Bible and God, and that I just wasn't getting anywhere else, and I have been listening ever since.
Were you raised Protestant then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I grew up in Church of Ireland, which is like Anglican faith here, and then I married a lovely Presbyterian lady.
Okay.
Nice.
So Anglican qualifies as Protestant. I know that there's a lot of sticky stuff around, like after the Troubles and everything like that. Yeah, that makes sense, because that'd be like the Church of England or the equivalent, I guess.
The equivalent, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, in a lot of ways, that kind of Anglican side of things isn't very different to Catholicism in some respects, in terms of liturgy. And
they have the same collar.
Yeah.
Are they vicars? You call them vicars?
Ministers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it has a lot of similarities to Catholicism, but then enough differences for them to go, no, it's not the same.
Right.
In Northern Ireland, that's a very important thing.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's calmed down a wee bit.
There he is. You see, he's been here. He's saying a wee bit. He's keeping me in the local speak. We use "we" for everything, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's a wee bit dark outside. It means it's kind of coming into late evening. It's a wee bit of a stretch. It means we've got a long way to go. We use it for everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, things have calmed down a lot from, like, in terms of when I was growing up. And it was very much part of normal life to find, like police at the end of the street and go, oh, you can't go down there. There's a bomb scare.
Wow.
Okay, can I go down this street? Yeah, that's fine. And it was the most, it sounds so bizarre to people, but it was the most normal part of life.
Wow.
For us here, just kind of going, oh, okay, well, I'll go a couple of streets over and that'll be fine.
Wow.
And just work around it and things like that,
Yeah, I often think that people don't realize that about Pete's work, and how much a lot of that came from those ideas and thoughts and stuff,
Yeah.
of the Troubles. People don't realize that what Belfast is like. I mean, it's an amazing place.
Yeah.
And full of lovely people. I honestly feel like it's my favorite place on earth. If I didn't have kiddos, I'd probably try to move out there. Revolution Belfast. But yeah, you've obviously kept listening and coming around in a way, and I'm curious, what's kept you listening to a podcast or a church that's halfway around the world? That's really messy.
That's part of
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's something that other people have said this to you as well. It's the honesty of it. It's I don't know. I can't work this out. I'm going with what I understand this to be, and I don't even know if that's right half the time. And there's something I really enjoy in films, when you watch a film and you see a wrestling priest, and you see a priest, like there's that Terrence Malick film, and the name's just gone out of my head, but there's a priest character in it, and he walks around the streets looking for God, and I love a priest that doesn't know, or a minister or pastor or whatever label you want to put on it.
Yeah, it's powerful,
and is prepared to hold their hands up and say, this might be right, this might not, because so often in churches there can be what I kind of came up through, and it never felt particularly harmful, but it was always, this is what we know, this is what we understand, very black and white, not a lot of wiggle room.
Okay.
And I like the fact that I can listen to you guys and kind of go, yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's lovely to have somebody just kind of go, I don't know either.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And that's there's a real beauty and an honesty in that, and I really appreciate it. And for us now, we're currently not at a church. So for me, if I go out on a Sunday morning to walk the dog and there's a podcast there, that will be my church. That'll be part of my practice,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a very long-winded answer.
No,
it's a very good answer.
That's great. How long has it been since you had a physical church location that you went to regularly?
Well, a few months actually.
Okay, so pretty recent.
We took a break from going to church for a while, for lots of different reasons. Partly through a bit of burnout, a bit of deconstruction, issues with how churches were treating LGBT people here or not. And in saying that, one of the places we were was a much more open space than a lot of others in Belfast. But for me, particularly around the LGBT stuff, there was guilt by association. So if you were just a normal person walking past the church as I was going in, you didn't know what that church was, what that church's views were, but you knew what the body of the church was saying about those people. And I really struggled with that. Yeah. That kind of, that guilt of, I didn't want to be part of that machinery that said this about a certain group of people. And that was all part of it. And then, so we took a big break, and we had actual days of rest, which are amazing. Like, it's let's do the biblical thing. Let's do an actual day of rest.
Right.
And try that out. And it was lovely. And then we went back somewhere for a Christmas. I think Christmas is one of those things that always pulls you in.
Yeah.
Right.
To church space. And we started going somewhere there. And then we just kind of realized that we weren't in that place where being in a kind of structural church environment was really working for us. But we were trying to do stuff to be there, to be in our community and for our kids as well, because we have 2 girls. So we kind of thought we need to give them some foundation.
Yeah.
and reflect kind of our faith that way. But yeah, it just proved a bit tricky for us, and we kind of came away again recently.
Yeah, that's super tricky. I feel that with my own kids, not wanting to indoctrinate them,
Yeah, and I mean, last year, Rob Bell came to Belfast, and somebody asked him a question in around that, and he was like, well, your kids are around you every day.
Yep.
So they're learning from you, how you treat people, how you walk around in the world. It's like, if they can get enough of that, and you're a decent person, then it may be that you never need to do structural church.
Yeah,
again.
Actions speak louder than words. You can, if you show love, or if you show Christ, I guess in Christian terms, if you show love,
yeah,
I think that goes a lot further than being like, beating somebody over the head with indoctrination.
Definitely does.
I think we're really conditioned to kind of go, no, but when you're a kid, you need to go to Sunday school, and you need to do Noah and Joseph and all those kind of things. Like it's part of the kind of training program or something,
right?
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like that. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because me and my wife are, she's an atheist.
Yeah,
and so I'm a Christian, so we kind of differ on those things. But I'm really glad kids get to see both sides of the story and kind of get to make up their mind. My ex-wife, that is, but they get to make up their mind.
Yeah, definitely,
and see that.
Definitely.
So there's no physical locations around you that are similar to Revolution. Is it all pretty straight laced as far as Protestant churches there in Belfast?
There are some spaces, yeah, but Belfast people are also very funny in that, like, if you have to drive across Belfast to go like from east to west, say for example.
Yeah.
Belfast is not a big city in kind of American terms, but in our heads it's like, oh well, that'll be at least 30 minutes away, and that's a lot of work on a Sunday morning. Like it's a really weird conditioning that we have, whereas you guys are like, oh, we'll drive for 2 hours to go wherever.
Sure. Yeah.
That's true. We just can't do that. But there are spaces out there, and there are groups. There are groups out there. There's some guys down in Carrickfergus. Jay, I think you were there a few years ago.
Yeah.
With Harbour Faith. They're a great bunch of guys.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All Souls in Belfast and a few others. But as yet, we just haven't managed to kind of get ourselves back into a kind of space. Yeah, of going back to church, I suppose.
Gotcha.
So what do you guys do for community? The pub?
Well, yeah, because we still see some old friends from our previous church and stuff.
Oh, cool!
And some of those live very close to us, so we make a point of seeing them. And community. I mean, I think community is probably the thing that personally I miss the most.
It's a common theme, I think.
Yeah, it's
you get disenfranchised with the doctrine, but then you miss the community, I think.
Yeah,
or one does, not you specifically. But
yeah, but when you come outside of a tribe, it's very hard to get back in, and it's very hard to assimilate yourself into a new one, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a bit introverted, and sometimes
myself included.
So I can feel very awkward in those spaces. So walking into a brand new space and meeting new people is sometimes like the last thing I want to do. So there was one time actually, Jay was over in Belfast and was speaking in a church, and I went on my own. And he was talking to a whole load of other people, And he had messaged me and said, "Oh, really looking forward to seeing you." Blah 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 blah. But he was talking to a load of people, and I had this thing where I was like, I don't want to bother him. Like, he's talking to enough people.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, you just left.
So I just left. Like, I'm that guy.
Thanks a lot, man. One person I wanted to talk to is gone.
I know. But you were chatting to all these other folk, and I was like, "Oh, he's a busy guy. I'm not gonna bother. These guys don't want to be bothered with me. They've talked to enough people." So I just left. So to go into a new church space and to meet totally new people where there's no connection, it can feel very, very awkward. I can feel very awkward.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I could go to church if I didn't work at the church that I go to, and I still sometimes feel awkward at my own congregation, with my own congregation.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just, community is a weird thing for introverts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, because there's part of you that craves it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's that thing that goes around Facebook. You see it sporadically. It's like, introverts unite in your own homes.
Yeah. I've put that up a few times.
Which is just a perfect way of doing it. It's like, I really want this, but I just kind of want to stay at home and not talk to anybody some days.
Unite in your lack of unity.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So that's kind of a good lead-in, I think, to our last question that we usually kind of land on with these things. Is, like, as far as community goes, obviously we are a non-traditional type of a community, type of a church. What would you like to see more of, or what do you, I guess, what do you benefit from that we are putting out there, or what would you like to see more of that we could put out there?
I think maybe if there was some kind of, I don't know, like a Facebook group or something like that, where we could all drop in as and when we want to, and join in conversations as and when we want, which gives community. But for the introverts, it's like, I don't have to. Yay!
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Something like that. And because I know you guys have said, like, there's a big online congregation. You might give a way to connect in there, and also to connect in with people who are actually there with you. In the bowling alley, and kind of put faces to people who are
that's a good idea.
Are going weekly and meeting there, because it's kind of like I have these voices from you guys in my head, and through social media I see you guys, but I don't see who's kind of sitting on the other side of the microphone.
That's great, right? Yeah.
So it'd be nice to kind of see who's in the room, type of thing, and if they're comfortable to do the wee Instagram thing.
Yeah, well, we're working on some of that stuff. We actually found somebody to do the website, but thank you for your offer.
Cool.
And so we're trying to do that, and I think maybe a Facebook group outside of the Facebook page. Yeah, we could do that. And we've talked about doing like a chat line,
like a message
board, and all that kind of stuff. So
that type of thing, and then because when you guys do the conversations after the sermon stuff, there's not really a way for me to interact with that.
Yes. So that's a good point.
Where the Facebook group could kick in there.
Yeah, so that online listeners can respond to the sermon as well, or the talk as well as the live.
Yeah, so we can chat it through as well if we want to.
Afterglow message board.
Right. Afterglow.
Afterglow.
Respond to the response to the sermon.
Post Afterglow.
Right.
And then you guys are just dealing with responses all day.
Yeah.
And then don't want to talk to anybody by Sunday.
Cool. Well, this has been awesome.
This has been great.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks for taking some time out of your day and talking to us all the way from Northern Ireland.
What time is it there right now?
We are 20 past 9 in the evening. So.
Wow.
Okay. So it's 20 past 3 here. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 hours.
It's, so guys, it's lovely to connect with you and to actually properly talk to you. Because there's been a lot of messaging back and forth, which has been great and lovely. But it's always nice to get an actual chat. You know?
sure. Totally.
Hopefully, I'll see you in October. I'll be there for 10 days. So
Yes, let's do that. Let's hang out, and I promise I won't run out of the room.
yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm only talking at Pete's thing, and then I got 5 free days. So we'll do something.
Cool.
All right,
Definitely.
mate. Thanks.
Not a problem.
Thanks, Neil.
See you guys soon.
All right,
Later.
bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a post-Christian podcast.